Hi yogis, welcome to this nice, gentle, relaxing yoga flow. It could be perfect for first thing in the morning when you're feeling a little bit groggy and want to iron out any aches and pains from a nice night's sleep. Or it could be perfect just before you go to bed to relax the body and relax the mind, ready for sleep. You'll just need a yoga mat and some space, and please do listen to your body and only do what your body is asking you to do today. So we're going to begin this practice in child's pose. So you can either take knees together or a wide-legged child's pose, and you're working your bottom toward your heels. Hands can come out in front or they can relax behind, and forehead comes down to the mat. So just take a couple of moments to really settle into this pose. See how the body is feeling. Perhaps you can notice any areas of tension or tightness in the body, or any areas that feel at ease and soft and relaxed. And then start to check in with the breath, not trying to control it in any way, just allowing it to breathe and move naturally. And ask yourself, how is that breath? Perhaps it's slow and long, or perhaps a little bit fast, a little bit jagged. What is the temperature of that breath? Is it warmer or cooler as you inhale and as you exhale? Notice any sensations that the breath has on the body. Perhaps you can feel a sense of calming and grounding, particularly as you exhale. And allow the breath to calm the body and to calm the mind. Take one final inhale and exhale. And then as you inhale, press up into a tabletop or all fours position, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. And from here we're going to thread the needle. So inhale, lift the right arm tall. And as you exhale, tuck it underneath. So you're bringing your shoulder down, head down to the floor, and feeling this nice twist, perhaps across the chest, in the lower back. You can keep your left hand extended out in front, or if you want to increase the twist, you can bring your left hand onto your lower back, or perhaps tucking it into the hip crease, and that can just help extend and open the chest and collarbone. Taking a few more breaths here. And to unwind, release that left hand and use it to de-thread the right arm, lifting it tall. And then exhaling back into your tabletop. And take the opposite side. So on an inhale, you lift the left arm high. And as you exhale, tuck it underneath the body. Really twisting, pushing the shoulder into the floor. And again, right hand can stay extended, or you may wish to lift and tuck onto lower back or tuck into the hip crease. I love to do this pose first thing in the morning. It really helps to open the chest, the shoulders, and gives me a nice few moments to really connect with the breath. To de-thread, right hand comes down and you use that to push open left arm up to the ceiling, stretch along the chest, and then work the bum back to the heels and bring your hands out in front and bring your hands up onto fingertips and just take some nice circles with the body. There's no right or wrong way to do this, just feel that movement in the shoulders, the chest, the back. Maybe walking the fingertips a little bit closer and continuing those movements to get a bit of mobility into the spine and the shoulders. Really get rid of any of the areas of tension or tightness. And when you're ready, we're going to come back into that all fours tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And on an inhale, lift the chest forward, bottom up. And as you exhale, round the spine to the ceiling, really pull in through the core. This is cat-cow. Inhale, lift chest and bottom. Exhale, rounding up to the ceiling. Can you continue that movement? Inhaling and opening and exhaling and rounding in time with your own breath. Really brings a bit of movement into the back, helps to mobilize the spine. So taking one more round, exhaling, curving up to the spine, and then inhaling back to your tabletop. I'm going to take a little flow here, so come to sit on your heels. We're going to inhale, lift the arms, come up to an upright kneeling position. Exhale, hands come behind. And as you inhale, push the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and exhaling, coming forward into your child's pose, allowing the back to release. Staying here for a couple of breaths, maybe going through that movement in your head. And we're going to do that a few more times, flowing with the breath. So coming back up, let's inhale, lift, tall kneeling position. Exhale, bottom, down to heels. Inhale, push shoulder blades together, chest broad. Exhaling, down to child's pose. Up we go again, inhaling, lift, check the shoulders are down. Exhale, bottom to heels. Inhale, little back bend here, pushing the chest forward. Exhaling, child's pose. Another round here. Inhale, lift up tall, stretch the body. Exhale, hands come behind. Inhale, shoulders squeeze, chest opens, back bend. Exhale, child's pose. Like a little forward bend here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, chest broaden, shoulder blades come together. Exhale, child's pose. And take a few moments here to check what effect that short flow has had on the body and maybe on the breath. From here, coming back up to that tabletop position. And we're just going to take a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So inhaling, chest lifting. Exhaling, spine rounding to the ceiling. Just a couple of rounds, just to ease out anything that may have bubbled up during that flow. So from your neutral tabletop position, inhale, lift the right foot up and back behind you. Imagine that foot's about to walk onto the ceiling. Then inhale, bring that foot through, and we're coming down into a low lunge. So just check that your knee is above the heel, and you can either keep hands down to the floor or inhale, lift up tall. Really feeling that stretch into the thigh, into the front leg, maybe into the back leg. Hands can stay lifted or maybe come down to heart center, and just take a few moments to really enjoy the sensations of this lovely low lunge. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, and you're going to straighten that front leg. This is called half splits, and it's a great stretch for the back of the hamstrings. Fingers can stay on fingertips. Try and keep back relatively straight. Try not to round too far. Breathing as you hold this pose. And then inhale, we're coming back up to that lovely crescent low lunge, lifting the arms if that feels okay, feeling that stretch into the hips, into the legs. From here, your left hand comes down next to your right foot, and you inhale, lift, right arm opens, back knee can stay down or it can lift off the floor for a bit more of a stretch. Feel this opening through the chest, the shoulders, a beautiful twist. Exhaling, right hand comes down, and we're returning back to our tabletop. And now we repeat the opposite side. So on an inhale, you lift your left leg up and back behind you, bending into that knee. And exhale, bring it through, finding that nice low lunge, that crescent lunge. Again, hands can stay down, come up to the knees, or they can lift up nice and tall. Back foot can stay tucked, or it can release down to the mat. And feel that stretch into the legs, thighs, hips. Checking knee is in line with the heel in front. Holding and breathing. From here we're coming into that half split, so fingertips come down to the floor and you straighten that left leg. Try not to look out through the knee, keep a nice micro bend and feeling that stretch down the back of the leg, hamstrings, perhaps behind the knees. Keeping toes flexed, or you can point the toes, just explore the sensations down the leg. Breathing, trying to maintain as little of a round in the back as you can. Then we inhale, left knee bends, and we come back into that low lunge. Arms can lift or stay at heart center. And we take that twist, so right arm comes down to the floor, back leg can lift or stay down. As you inhale, you lift your left arm up tall, taking that nice twisted lunge, feeling the opening down the shoulders and the chest. Then exhale, left hand comes down, and lowering that back knee, coming back into your tabletop position. Let's take a couple of rounds of cat-cow while we're here. Inhaling, broadening through the chest. Exhaling, rounding the spine. And then when you're ready, we're coming to lie down on the mat. And from here, we're going to take a nice dynamic bridge. So lying flat on the floor, hands need to be somewhere near the heels. And make sure your shoulders are pressed down, tailbone down. On an inhale, we're going to lift the arms up and back behind the body, taking a nice stretch. And exhale, releasing those down. This time as we inhale, we're going to lift the arms, but we're also going to lift bottom and hips, lifting them nice and high. And then exhaling, releasing back down. So continuing just like this. Inhale, lifting tall, squeezing the glutes. And then when you are ready, exhaling, releasing. Taking another round. Inhale, lift the hips, the glutes. Make sure the knees are pointing forward, not flopping open. And then exhaling, releasing. Final round. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms, lift the glutes, and this time hold. Really squeeze the glutes. Imagine there's a brick between the knees. Breathing as you hold. Exhale, slowly release upper, middle, lower back to the floor. And just relax here, maybe window wiping the knees from side to ease out any lower back tension from that pose. So once your knees come back to center, bring them into the chest, wrapping hands around and giving them a nice hug. Maybe gently rocking from side to side, gentle back massage on the lower back. From here we'll come into a supine spinal twist. So bring the feet down to the floor, shuffle the hips over to the left, and then use your right hand to help your knees lower down to the right hand side. Arms can come out, stretch long like a T or maybe like a cactus. You can face the hands on the side of the knee, or if you want to extend that twist, looking away from the knees. And just breathing and relaxing. A nice release for the lower back, a nice gentle twist here. On your next inhale, using your core to bring your knees back to center. And then shuffle the hips over to the right and use your left hand to help your knees come down to the left, taking your hands out wide into that T shape or cactus, allowing the collarbone to be broad facing the ceiling. And again, you can look to the side of your knees, or to increase the stretch, look away from the knees. And breathe, allow the chest to open, lower back to release. On your next inhale, bringing the knees back to center, hugging them in again one final time, giving them a nice squeeze, maybe gently rocking. From here, we're going to come into a reverse tabletop. So come to sit up and walk your hands behind you, fingers facing towards your hips. And an inhale, lift bottom, hips, chest. Everything extends up to the ceiling. A great stretch for the shoulders, the core. And then exhaling, gently releasing down and taking that same window wiper motion with the knees that we did earlier, just to release any tension. And then gently coming back down to the mat. We're going to take our final pose here, happy baby. So grabbing onto the insides or the outside of the feet, or maybe onto shins if you can't reach, or if you can, maybe wrapping the first two fingers around the big toes, and you're gently trying to work your knees down towards your armpits, trying to make sure your shoulders stay glued to the mat, and try and lower the tailbone, keep that connected. And you can just hold and breathe. You may wish to rock gently from side to side. Really great pose for the hips. Remembering to breathe as you explore this nice hip opening. From here, gently release the feet back down to the floor. And then bring the knees up, give them a hug. You may want to bring your forehead to the knees, curl up tight like a ball, before finally releasing into what is going to be our final pose. You can either take Shavasana with the legs out, extended, or you can bring your feet into a diamond position and take one hand to chest, one hand to stomach, and start to slow the breath down. Start to allow the body to release and relax as we begin to close our practice. Notice the gentle movement of the stomach as you're inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you can notice the rise and fall of the chest. Allowing the breath to flow naturally. Noticing the sensations that it's having on the body and on the mind. So from here, using your hands to gently bring the knees together, and maybe coming to roll onto the right hand side, taking a few moments here to breathe, to connect to the ground below before coming up to sit in a nice, comfortable position. Inhale, lift the arms up to the ceiling, palms together. Exhale, bring hands through to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Hope to see you again soon.